Minasan konnichiwa and welcome to Shogo's podcast. So everyone, I am very, very excited that today is 2023's January 1st. 2023's January 1st. January 1st of 2023. Thank you so much. Very interesting way to start the very first podcast of the year. 2023's January 1st is the weirdest way of saying the date of an year. But anyways, I just wanted to say thank you so much for always listening to this podcast. It's going to be the beginning of a new year. I'm so excited for all the things that I'm going to be doing this year. I mean, I've already made a video explaining about the things that I will be up to next year, especially the video that I made my main channel to explain that the new channel of Let's Ask Seki Sensei, who's going to be aiming for 100,000 subscribers. I'm going to be working hard for a samurai experience for Yushinkan, and also I still have the studying for the Japanese language instructor and so on and so forth. But there is just so many other stuff too that I haven't been able to talk about so much. Like, for example, in March, there's going to be a really important performance for No Theater. And also there is the exam for the third dan, going up to the third dan in Iaido, the All Japan Kendo Federation Iaido, in October. And also in December, at the end of the year, I will be taking the exam for going up to the second or third dan in Yushinkan as well. And also in 2024, next year, in March, actually, again, I'm going to be taking the first semi-instructor class level for the shakuhachi. So it really is up to how much practicing I will be able to do this year. So along with all the businesses that I'm doing, the training that I have to do is actually a lot as well. So please do wish me luck. So today, guys, this is not the main topic, by the way. The main topic is something completely different. I just wanted to say that this is the beginning of the year. I'm really excited. The main topic today is actually about something that it was a question that was asked by one of the guests that came to my samurai experience at Yushinkan. I really hope that you're listening to this, Josh. It was great meeting you. There was a wonderful, wonderful young man called Josh, who came to my experience. I was really surprised because he even listens to these podcasts for me. And I know there's very, very few people who listen to this podcast because it's really just me talking about myself. But when I was talking with him, he asked me a lot of questions about my beliefs and my thoughts, and what I'm thinking about and about my future and so on and so forth. And a lot of the questions that he asked me was really, really interesting. I wanted to share with you in this podcast. So today, here I want to talk about one of the questions he asked me. What do you like and dislike about Japanese traditional culture? And this is really important for me because, as I explained in the beginning, this year I'm going to be really be focused on a lot of, studying and training in traditional culture as well. So I wanted to make it really clear again here why I really like it and what I don't like about it. And I talked about why I like traditional culture, what should I say, why I think it's really suitable for a business and so on and so forth. But I think it's been a while now since I talked about the good and bad points that I personally feel about traditional culture, so I wanted to wrap it up here. So how about we start from talking about the bad thing? Yeah, so we can end positively. So the bad thing, almost the one and only thing that I don't like about Japanese traditional culture is the seniority system, obviously. So basically in Japan, the superior and subordinate relationships, the hierarchical relationships is very, very strict. And I personally think that it's really crazy how, regardless of how much skills you have or how much dedication you have towards the culture, it's really up to your age or how long you've been in that yuha or dojo or class that defines how much power you have, how much right you have to talk, and so on and so forth. I personally feel that that's not very fair. Now, I do want to make it really clear that, of course, the older you get, you have more experience, you've made a lot more mistakes before, and you know how to solve them. For example, you overcame them, you have the courage, you have the power. I understand that, but at the same time, that being like almost the only way, the only standard to decide who is in power, who is in charge to make decisions, I personally think is not fair. And we can see as a fact that this has a lot of problems because, the younger generations aren't training in traditional culture anymore. Why is that? Because a lot of the elderly and the people who are old have a lot of power in doing it, and there really is no space for younger generations to say their opinions, have a little bit more freedom to do stuff. And even just watching from the outside, you can obviously understand that it's really just a world for old people. And then the newer generations won't come in, and then if there's less newer generations, there'll be less money for the organizations, and then people can't continue anymore, and there's less hope for it to continue down. So basically, it's a suicidal act, for the organizations of each traditional culture. Now, I'm not saying that you should just let a 20-year-old who have only been training for 2 or 3 years become the leader of a ryuha. No, I'm not saying that, but I think it should be a little bit more fair. I really believe that even once I get old, I will probably be saying the same thing. But I just personally feel that it's kind of crazy. Yeah, it's definitely not a very logical way of doing it. Yeah, so I think that's the thing that I don't like about traditional culture so much. I really feel that there is a lot of talented people, even in the younger generations too, and I really feel that there should be a fairer way, to judge their skills and how much power they have over, for example, teaching the next generation. Like, if that person has skills and if that person is capable and is good at, for example, teaching people, if there's a really young teacher, I think that'd be a really great opportunity for younger people to come in. But even if you're in your 40s, guys, even if you're in your 40s in Japan, you're called a young person. Yeah, it's that crazy, and you're not like, oh, you're 40 years old and you already have your own class. Wow, that's like so arrogant, and like, okay, age is something that you should definitely consider, but isn't that up to how much skills that they have, or how much passion that person has towards wanting to dedicate his or her own life to it. People who go to training like once only 2 weeks, who have been training very long, can sit in the front row seats and treated as a very important person. But people who are training like 24/7, and have people who are saying that they want to study under them, don't have any right to do that. So I personally think that is super, super crazy. Now, moving on to the part that I do like. Now, all these things that I've been talking about in the first half of this podcast is a system that the people today have created because there are just so many old people in Japan. The system is corrupt. It's not the traditional culture. It's not the teachings. It's not the essence, of the culture that has been corrupt or destroyed. No, I personally feel that those are still there. Yeah, the only problem is the people running them. That's the bigger problem. So what I love about traditional culture, Japanese traditional culture, is the teachings of Zen. I talked about this many, many times before, but I really love how every traditional culture in Japan includes the beautiful teachings of Zen. And what is Zen then, right? What I really like about it is the beliefs or the ideals of subtractions of letting go, of having less is better, This is the thing that I really, really love the most. Like in tea ceremony too, although we do have a lot of tools, we of course try our best to use do the least amount of movements, have the least amount of tools, do it in the smallest room possible, so on and so forth, and not have everything shiny, for example. In like Budo martial arts too, we try to seek the least amount of movement, the smallest amount of movements, the most efficient way of doing it, so on and so forth. So I really feel that this belief of Zen, saying that subtracting is more important than adding. When you train Zen, for example, you're sitting down trying to meditate, try to reach a state of nothingness, you might think that, I need to do more training, I need to add more to myself, I need more experience, I need more blah, blah, blah. No. It's actually the other way around. When you want to reach a state of nothingness, it's not about adding something to you. It's actually about letting go and getting rid of the stuff that you already have. I think that's so interesting because this includes so many people. Now, if it was adding something to reach something, to get to a goal, this leaves out a lot of people. Like, for example, you have some kind of physical disability or mental disability or, your age or so on and so forth. If you had to add more, there are things that people can't do due to the age if you're too old, for example, so on and so forth. But when you are told that letting go, having less is better, by something, I personally think that this can bring in a lot more people, give them purposes, something fun to do in their lives, as they build up a stronger body, a stronger mind, and just enjoy life with other people. The community that traditional culture creates, it's just really close to manga and anime. Even if you just met for the first time, if you love the same manga, like for me, I love Gintama, I can become best friends with that person, immediately. It's really close to that. The moment you know that the person, for example, trains in Iaido or trains karate or does tea ceremony, the moment you do that, all borders are gone. All borders are gone, and we are going to have as many people as possible. But again, what is stopping from more and more people coming in traditional culture? It is, again, the first half, as I explained, the seniority system, and the whole system itself is broken right now and is corrupt. Like for example, like me, I personally feel that I will eventually have more power to spread traditional culture to the world. But the people in Japan right now, in the world of traditional culture, do they like me? No, they hate me. Because I am this 28-year-old person who sounds like I know everything about traditional culture and going around to the world and spreading it, There's a lot of people who think that I'm just spreading lies to the world. Yeah. But I'm serious. There's people who believe in that. So yeah, it's going to take a long time for me to try to gradually change this. But by the time I actually reach a old age, as these people say, I'm willing to change this world. Absolutely. Yeah, because it's crazy. What is your goal? Do you just want, younger people praising you as a important person because you're 60 or 70 now? Yeah. No, that is just so shameful, I personally would say. No, you are respected and people admire you for your dedication and for your skills and your experience, and your love towards the traditional culture that you're doing, not the age. Why do you force younger people to respect you just because you're old? That's not fair. That's not going to help to preserve the culture. Traditional culture in Japan has not been lasting in Japan for 400 to 600 years. All these kind of stuff have not been lasting this long just to make you feel better in your life. No, it's not for that. It's to make as many people happy as possible. That's at least what I believe. Yeah. So I'm going to be changing this world, changing the world of traditional culture. And that's one of the goals of my life. So, okay. So as a wrap up, that's the two things I want to talk about today. The bad things about traditional culture and the good things about it. Yes. I hope it was interesting to hear. And once again, Josh, thank you so much for coming to experience. And your question was amazing. So then everyone, as I always say, the ultimate goal of my life is to make all Japan lovers' dreams come true. So I know there's a lot of people studying Japanese, willing to come to Japan to study, travel, or work, or even train our traditional culture and such. However, I am very afraid that Japan will not be able to make everyone's dreams come true in the future because we're facing a lot of social problems, we are losing our traditional culture, and the younger generations who are supposed to be carrying on the good things about Japan are dying because of all the social issues being shoved against them. So I really want to dedicate my life trying to make Japan a better place. I want to try to solve the social problems, preserve and evolve traditional culture, and also help out the younger generations so they can have a brighter future. And to do this, the nearest goal I have right now is to achieve 100,000 subscribers on my new YouTube channel, Let's Ask Seki Sensei. I will guarantee you this is the best Budo martial art related YouTube channel to study more about samurai, katana, and Budo. So please, I hope you can check it out through the description box and subscribe to support me on this journey to achieve this goal. And also, of course, I have the samurai experience where you can meet me in Kyoto if you have an opportunity to come to Japan. Please do check that out too. And also my Ko-fi page and my merchandise page as well, all in the description box, guys. Alright guys, thank you so much, and let's together enjoy 2023 as well. I am going to be really excited for all the things I'm going to be doing, and please continue to support me because I will absolutely promise you that will keep you excited with all the things I'm going to be challenging. Alright guys, thank you so much, and Happy New Year's!